Hey fam, welcome to the Deep Mirror readings. So these readings will address what was the old mirror, what does the inner child really want, what's the current inner challenge in order to shift, what's the current outer challenge to overcome that's reflecting the inner process, what's the potential outcome if you don't shift, what's the potential outcome if you do shift. What's the guidance spirit has in your highest good to help you shift into the new mirror? And what does that new mirror look like? So for those of you not familiar with the secret code names or you want to see the shuffle, it's in a separate live. It's linked in the description. This one is Panic at the Disco. And of course, you know, the song that came to mind was that one. It's like, haven't you people ever heard of closing the goddamn door? Haven't you people ever heard of closing the goddamn door? Oh, much better to face these kind of things with a sense of poise and rationality. That song. So you might want to listen to that song and check out the lyrics, especially if you were guided to the secret code name. All right, so we're going to get right into your message. Let's see what spirit has for your deep mirror reading. Okay. All right. All right. So secret code name Panic at the Disco. The old mirror is the destroyer. The old mirror is the destroyer. So the shadow was intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. This may have been a very hidden 12th house kind of desire that you didn't realize that you had, where you were drawn to behavior or choices that were destructive, not just for yourself, but for others. Destructive, not just of your own potential, but the potential of others as well. So coming out of this old mirror, the light attribute that you're more likely feeling now or being pulled to now is releasing what is potentially destructive and preparing for new life, right? That is the light of the destroyer card. Releasing what is potentially destructive and preparing for new life, right? New energy. What you used to do or choose that was destructive, those things, those behavior patterns are being released. And I feel like you're getting control of yourself, because what the inner child really wants is responsibility. It's solar plexus chakra. It's self-discipline, empowerment, reliability, and fulfillment. You know, you want to claim responsibility for what it is that you are growing, what it is that you're creating and nurturing in your experience. Having the discipline in your own empowerment to be able to rely on yourself for your fulfillment. That's a big one. It definitely makes sense as to why this is the old mirror and what the inner child really wants. So what's the current inner challenge in order to shift? It says you have an unexpected ally, someone you haven't connected with in a while. Reach out. You already know I've solved your current dilemma. Let me do what I do. Align. You are loved and supported always. All right. So you have someone in your reality, your sphere of connections that you haven't necessarily connected to in a while. I'm getting strong female energy that has really strong masculine principles. Someone who is truly in control of their life and does take full responsibility for themselves. They would be this high mirror, right? To reach out to them and connect with them. It says yes, them. So you do know who this is. And know that Spirit has worked out the problem already, right? Know that Spirit has worked out the issue already. And that might be a challenge, right? Reaching out to people who are in the vibration that you do want to be in and not feeling disconnected from them, like you can't reach out to them or you'd be bothering them if you reached out to them, you know, and that's just your own lower vibration, right? The intoxication with destructive energy, keeping your potential at bay. So I feel like if you know who this energy is, that you can in fact align with them, you can in fact reach out to them, it would not be a bother to them at all, and that whatever communication ends up happening between you and them, I do feel like it's the first step towards solving whatever problem you have, getting out of the old manifestation and into the new one, right? Out of the old energies manifestation where you were choosing your own destructive energy, and getting in alignment with having more control over what it is you're doing and choosing in your life. I feel like they would be able to give you great advice. Like if you were to say, hey, you know, I was thinking of you, and if we can connect sometime, that would be great, because this is what I'm kind of dealing with or up against, and I'm not really sure how to handle it. I don't know what my first step is. And I thought of you, you know, so I don't know what advice you'd have, but I'm willing to take it. You know, like I'm willing to take it, and seeing what it is, and then actually take the advice and watch it work, because they're in the vibration that you want to be in. So taking their advice would help you align with the reality that you really want from the energy that you want to be in, right? What's the current outer challenge to overcome that's reflecting this inner process? We have the Tower, the Seven of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the Fool in the reverse, right? We have them in the reverse. I feel like the challenge to overcome is avoiding towers. Sometimes things do have to tower, and you just have to be honest, right? You have to be honest with the Seven of Swords and stop robbing yourself or other people of their own potential because you're afraid of the tower, afraid of the change. The Hanged Man in reverse, the challenge is really coming out of spiritual stagnancy and being afraid that you're going to fall on your face. You know, the foolish man, the fool in the reverse, is when we're afraid of falling on our face or afraid of making a mistake, when that's not really possible. When we align with higher energy, we can't fall on our face. We can't. Things can fall into place, but you're not going to fall on your face, you know? And I think that's the biggest thing. If your inner child is demanding discipline, demanding empowerment, demanding you to be the reliable person in obtaining your fulfillment, then you really do have to stop being afraid of the towers, not be afraid of change. Allow yourself to be honest and truthful about what effort is not stable for you, and reflecting back from the people in your outer experience, and really take the leap, right? Really take the leap on the spiritual perspective and allowing your intuition, what feels right, to guide you so that the towers that are meant to fall can, right? So that the towers that are meant to fall can. What's the potential outcome if you don't shift? We have the moon with the King of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. I feel if you don't shift, the inner child wounds is real. And we end up with this very tight-lipped king, right? The King of Wands, if you see, he's got his sword covering his mouth. It's blocking the mouth, right? It's blocking the throat chakra from speaking. The truth comes out sideways. It's not being direct because the vision isn't there the way it should be. It's a vision that you personally are trying to control versus the vision that spirit would have in your highest good, right? When you visualize the highest good outcome or your highest good future, you end up getting this old childhood wound. Like even the Page of Pentacles, they're wearing a mask. They're wearing a mask and they're sitting on the back of this dragon, and you could see the dragon here with the inner child kind of sitting on top of its head. It's an old wound. It's an old wound and it's breathing fire. You know, it's like you're wearing a mask and you're trying to control it. You're probably irritable. It's coming out sideways, right? The truth is coming out sideways, or it's coming out in destructive ways, especially in the home environment with the Ten of Pentacles or in the work environment, right? When things are not in alignment. Things come out of your mouth that are sharp, and where they come out at the wrong times or at the wrong people. Misdirected energy. And it causes, you know, ruin. This Ten of Pentacles, if you look at the card, the home is a ruin. And the dragon has ruined it. And or made the ruins its home. This wound, this wound has made itself very comfortable. It's made itself very comfortable. You have made a home inside this wound. This destructive energy, holding back your own potential, holding back the potential of other people, whether you realize it or not. Like, even if you create a great reality, is it divine though? Is it the highest reality? Is it the one that is meant for them? That's the question. You know, what are you going to stand in the way of if it's not spirit? You know what I mean? Allow yourself to really cease and desist this temptation to destroy potential, especially your own, because it ripples, right? What does the highest good outcome look like, right? What is the potential outcome if you do shift? We have the Eight of Cups with the Two of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. It's about moving forward. When the time is right, you're going to move forward because you're not going to get in your own way anymore. You're not going to get in spirit's way anymore. You're not going to try to control it anymore. I feel like you are able to go back to a time when it's almost like resetting the clock and getting what you truly desire, what you really want. what spirit, right? The inner child really does want to receive with that Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is what spirit, right? The suit of Wands is fire. What spirit really desires to receive. Self-discipline, self-empowerment, self-reliability, self-fulfillment. You might need to walk away from that which is not truly in alignment with you, what is not fulfilling. I do think if you reach out to whoever this person is, that they will have some great advice for you, or at least give you the first step in the right direction. Like they might know a person or heard of something that will help you immensely. Let go of this old mirror. I feel like they're key. But I think it's time, you know, like you have to move away from what is not ideal, because that's the thing about the Two of Pentacles. You know, one coin juggles what is ideal and the other is what is real. And the two are not the same, right? The reality is not ideal. So how do you get to an ideal reality? Sometimes you have to walk away from blocking your own potential, being destructive to yourself, right? So for guidance, to help you shift into the new mirror, and then we're going to pull some tarot and actually take a look at what the new mirror looks like. We got Elk Medicine Woman. Okay. Card number 36. It says, Elk Medicine Woman comes with guidance to heal your soul. Steady does it, wild one. Maintain the pace that matches your inner rhythms. Do not feel rushed by urgency or external demands. You cannot force life to flow. The heart is at peace with this because it knows that perfect timing is divine timing. You have the endurance to go far and attain great things in this life. Sorry, guys, my throat just decided it wasn't going to work. Your heart is at peace with this because it knows that perfect timing is divine timing. You have the endurance to go far and attain great things in this life. You must conserve your energy to maintain your stamina. If you push yourself to exhaustion, you just make the way harder for yourself. Nor does it speed up your results. Forcing creates resistance, which just slows everything down. Elk Medicine Woman understands that you have great courage, which will take you to places that others may dare not go. With your inner wisdom and self-confidence, there is so much that you shall achieve and receive. She whispers in your heart, affirming that your accomplishments shall be impressive. She guides you to work hard, but also to enjoy your life and allow others to support you. When divine timing is just right, you will hit your stride. You will attain all that for which you have aimed and more. It says you can place the backs of your hands on the top of your head with your fingers extending upwards in a slightly curved shape. These are your symbolic soul antlers. They draw in divine transmissions of guidance, blessings, energy, and instruction. Imagine, visualize, feel, or pretend that you can suction all of that spiritual goodness into your soul antlers, and then move your hands down to relax at your heart. Trusting in divine timing and not forcing things, right? And that was a big deal for all of this, right? There was a lot of force going on, a lot of obligation, what I need to do to achieve this certain outcome. The divine timing Divine timing is just a matter of alignment. That's all it is. Divine timing is just energy alignment. It can happen at any moment. It's not like you got to wait for it sometime in the future. Divine timing is divine alignment, and divine alignment is a choice. It is a choice. You can choose to continue being destructive. You can choose to continue in your lower energy and sabotage your own potential and the potential of other people. Or you can choose to elevate. You can choose to draw in that energy and let yourself be inspired to the first action. Spirit, what would you have me do? What would you have me say? Where would you have me go? Right? That's in the highest good of all, so that it can be. So that it can be. This guidance, in order for you to get into the new mirror, is about getting into alignment. It's about getting into alignment. Knowing that you are disciplined in your empowerment and can rely on yourself for your fulfillment. Because if you can't rely on yourself for your own fulfillment, how are you going to be the fulfillment for other people? How are you going to ripple fulfillment for other people? If you're not fulfilled and empowered, neither is anybody else in your reality. Right? Neither is anybody else. Which leaves everybody in a very powerless, destroyed state. It's not fair to you or anybody. If you know who this person is, I would reach out to them. Let's see what this new mirror looks like. What does the new mirror look like, please, Spirit, for secret code name Panic at the Disco? And those who would be drawn to the secret code name. What does the new mirror look like? What does the new mirror look like? All right. Got the King of Wands with the Queen of Pentacles, Justice in the reverse. Give me one more in clarities, please. And the Page of Cups. All right. Well, that makes sense to me. I'll fill you all in just a second. Let's get these clarity cards out here. Empress on the King of Wands. Three of Swords on the Queen of Pentacles. Ten of Cups on Justice reversed. And then on the Apprentice of Cups, we have the Nine of Swords, the Chariot, and the Page or Apprentice of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the Elder or the King of Cups. Top is Judgment. Okay. Okay. I feel like in order to kick off this new mirror, you've got to make this judgment call to be emotionally intelligent, which means you really do have to listen to Spirit. You have to listen to that divine feminine energy within yourself, because the divine feminine, the intuition, the emotions, is Spirit's direct communication with you. How you feel is a direct reflection of the choices that you've made. So if you're under high stress, Spirit's saying, hey, this is high stress, stop choosing it. If you're feeling frustrated, Spirit's like, hey, you're feeling frustrated, stop choosing it. Right? Your feelings are Spirit's direct communication with you to let you know this is out of alignment or in alignment. If you can look at your feelings very subjectively and say, this is how I feel, I'm not going to choose it anymore if it doesn't feel good, period. Because it's destructive, right? It's destructive. If it's not progressive, then it's destructive. So you have to make that judgment call to be emotionally intelligent, period. That's going to kick off the new mirror. Then we have the King of Wands with the Empress card, which means you can finally see what it is that Spirit really desires for you to receive. The King of Wands, which we talked about, you know, when it's tied to that high energy of spirit, it's spirit's vision. Once you start to move forward, you get to witness what spirit really does want you to receive. We have this cute otter energy. There's 2 otters. They're so stinking adorable on this card. Otters, if you look them up as a spirit animal, they're all about joy. They're all about play. They're all about fun. They're all about community. They're all about family and being close. You know, it's a positive energy. It's a really positive energy when that works out, right? When family dynamics, friendship dynamics, business dynamics, right? Our families that are outside of our families end up being a positive experience. Because you're in a positive energy, you start seeing how everything can shift. The Queen of Pentacles with the 3 of Swords. Yeah, the reality that you're receiving, there's going to be some pain in the reality. There is. Someone's going to fall off their high horse. Someone's not going to like being thrown off the pedestal that you've kept them on in some which way, shape, or form, prioritizing them in pursuit of your own destruction, right? When you were pursuing your own destruction, the destruction of your own potential, you had these people, whoever they are, on a pedestal is more important than you. The 3 of Swords, I mean, it's literally falling from the sky. And they're going to hate it. Of course they're going to hate it. Of course they're going to hate it. But you deserve a better reality to receive, right? The Queen of Pentacles is about receiving a reality, which means certain people are going to have to fall out of the priority position. They should have never been in that position to begin with, right? This could be people in your current reality. This could be people from past realities that are still living in your current energy. Either way, the idolization of them or the priority of them, that's done. The Justice card reversed with the 10 of Cups, it's not going to feel fair to everybody. It's not going to feel fair even maybe for you to do it, because you're leaving an old mirror where you were intoxicated with destruction, right? The words on the card. But you're releasing what is potentially destructive now, preparing for new life. Your old self is going to feel like what you're doing is not fair, it's not right. But it is. It's the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is fulfillment. That's what your inner child wants. It's not fair for anybody else who doesn't want fulfillment. They don't want fulfillment. They don't want to reach their potential. They don't believe in their potential. They're long past their potential. It's erased. That's not the vibe they're on. So yeah, it's going to feel unfair for them, because when you choose to align yourself with your highest potential, they are by default forced on the crossroads to choose the same or not. They can continue to choose their own destruction if they want, but they can't do it within or around your energy, which is frustrating for them, because all they wanted to do was not live up to their potential and get settled in their destruction, wasting their time here. They were dead set on it, and you allowed it. You allowed it for a long time. And now they're all of a sudden like, you're not going to let me just stagnate anymore? Life's going to change? Well, that's not fair, but it is, though. Spiritually, it's fair. It's super fair. It's fair as fuck. The Apprentice of Cups with the 9 of Swords, the Chariot, and the Apprentice of Wands. This is like an I'm sorry, I'm not sorry energy. Like, you've got to hold compassion for yourself. We've got the Lamb here, Christ consciousness on the card. It's about seeing the divine and trusting the path forward, trusting that even the worst, perceivably the worst actions that you could take are truly in the highest of alignments. Like, I got into a bunch of videos on like the Gnostic texts and like the Book of Judas and things like that, which paint a wildly different story than what the traditional Bible tells. And Jesus actually told Judas, like, you're going to have to betray me in order for everybody to truly see. You will have to betray me and you will be a villain. But it has to happen. And if Judas didn't betray Jesus, if Jesus was never hung on the cross, would they really still be talking about him on the scale worldwide that they talk about him every day? If he wasn't hung on the cross, if he wasn't crucified and didn't ascend, Judas, the villain, was so necessary. It's like, I'm sorry, but I have to be the villain. I have to move forward. I know that intuitively knowing that you have to move forward causes a lot of anxiety, but you still have to move forward and reinvent yourself with the Page of Wands. The Chariot, the divine, is moving you forward. Page of Wands. You can't stay in the destructive energy anymore, which means you have to reinvent yourself entirely. You can't stay the same. You can't stagnate unless you are willing to accept, that you are destroying your potential. You're destroying the potential of all the other people in your life, and that's good. You're just going to waste this lifetime. If you're cool with that, you're cool with that. That's fine. That's fine. But even the villain is divine. All the darkness that exists serves the light. The light is not as bright without the darkness to contrast against it. The stars are as beautiful as they are because there is a black sky behind them. Sometimes you got to be the villain. And it is in divine alignment. It's in alignment. It's okay. You're not a bad person. The demons and the shadows of others might not like it that you're shining. But you've still got to shine. Or accept the fact that you are the dark nothing that other people shine in, but that you will never shine. It's entirely up to you. You know? So secret code name, Panic at the Disco. I have faith this reading resonated with you and is going to help you. For everybody else who was drawn to this reading, this was their personal reading. The secret code name, Panic at the Disco, belongs to someone. It's their personal reading with me. If you appreciate that you were able to receive this message and it helped you in some way, this is their ripple. Throw a thank you in the comments for them. Let them know that you caught it in divine time and that them having their ripple, their healing out there helped you and benefited you in some way. Give them that gratitude. All the gratitude goes to them. This is for them, right? This is all about their ripple and their healing. And I greatly appreciate for them. I greatly appreciate them putting their energy out there like this for other people. And I hope it serves you all well. I truly do. We are going to get into secret code name Radiant, and I will be back in just a bit. Bye.